So, where does the truth lie here? We will never know. Has the palace, in trying to manage this very delicate situation, made things worse? But whether intentionally or not, in keeping stum about whatever conclusions the lawyers have come to, Her Majesty has in fact done her granddaughter-in-law a disservice and damned Meghan. Somewhere in the royal household right now is one of the most contentious documents ever produced for the Queen, and a report which will now never see the light of day. But what might at first look like Team Windsor sensibly tamping down a spark which could reignite hostilities with the rebellious duo is in fact a more loaded and potentially explosive move. Until this week when Meghan revealed that the report has been buried. However, it had been thought the HR policy changes would be included in the next sovereign grant report, out this month. The palace no longer plans to make any public statement on the inquiry, or even publicly acknowledge the subsequent changes to its HR policies. One factor contributing to the palace's decision to tuck the report away, Meghan wrote, was to limit tensions between the Sussexes and the palace. Outwardly this looks like the mature play on the part of the Queen here. Why stoke the flames and drag this particular business back into the spotlight? Better to tidy it away to preserve what is left of the frayed ties between London and Montecito. I would have assumed that Buckingham Palace would have loved to have revealed those investigation results at a time when a little PR diversion was needed, essentially, any time Prince Andrew's gag-triggering name pops up in the news. But for some reason, we're only finding out the vaguest of details from that investigation, via some leaked documents. That of course has a whole bunch of people wondering why Buckingham Palace, who was just so concerned with getting to the bottom of Meghan's alleged behavior, seems like they're now using that investigating report as a coaster in the tea room or wedged under a wobbly table leg in Queen Elizabeth's jewel polishing parlor. Naturally, some people believe they detect the stink of something fishy. Lorraine Kelly discussed the latest royal news with expert Russell Myers on Monday as the pair commented on the palace's report on the allegations Meghan Markle bullied staff. The findings from this investigation, which was paid for privately by the Queen, will not be published. Russell explained, "We were expecting to potentially hear the results of that report. It does seem now that will be buried and that Buckingham Palace have just said they will be learning from the procedures." Interrupting, Lorraine asked, "So we won't ever see it?" "It does seem like that, and they've said they will be improving their HR policies," Russell continued. "Now exactly what does that mean? I don't know, because if I was Meghan I would want that report to be out to vindicate her," Lorraine quipped. "Well, would you?" Russell questioned, and the host replied, "Well, it depends on the outcome. There were people who came forward to the Times newspaper last year and said they had broken down in tears. They'd had to leave their jobs because of the culture of bullying. She has always said she denied them but wasn't given an opportunity to speak to the review that was taking place. Anyway, I still think this is something that won't go away for now. It's been reported that only 4 or 5 former members of the Sussexes team were spoken to as part of the inquiry. The short visit at Windsor Castle had nothing to do with family tension and more to do with saving her strength amid ongoing health concerns, specifically physical mobility issues that sidelined her for many of the festivities of the Jubilee, and other royal events on the calendar as of late, like Royal Ascot. She was working very hard to maintain her strength, royal expert Jonathan Saccardotti told. "I think it's totally understandable that she was saving her energy as best she could for all the events that she wanted to be at if she possibly could.